My sister's mistake is ruining my life. I moved to Texas to be closer to my sister and her children, since she had no one else here besides her children's father. I lived with her for 2 months before getting my own place in the same town. I rushed to move out because her relationship with her kid's father had always been very toxic. And I couldn't stand to be around it, and it was causing problems between her and I as well. Once I got my own place, everything got a lot better. I was happy and financially free and thriving, while trying to file papers to bring my husband to the US, since he is from another country. Getting his papers proved to be harder than I thought, and we were told that it would be a few years before even having an interview. So we decided I would move back in July and live with him until then. Well, in May, after multiple fights and arguments and times of calling the police, CPS took my sister's children away from her and their father. My mother moved in with me that month to try and get the children with her, since I am technically not allowed to be a foster parent until 21 in the state of Texas. Well, 1 month later we succeeded, and the children moved into my place as well, under my mother, with me as an approved caregiver. Since they are under my mom, CPS needed her to keep a job, which meant that I had to leave my job to stay home and take care of the children until CPS found and approved a daycare for them. I was finally able to start working again in August at a solar company, but after a month, found out that it was doing some shady or illegal things and left. Since then, I've just been falling deeper and deeper into debt and depression. My car is on the verge of getting repossessed. I have no way to pay my half of rent or any of the bills, and I've been struggling to find any job. My credit score has dropped from 705 to a whopping 576, so no one wants to give me a loan. I feel like I'm drowning and I don't know how to get out. Whenever I express this to my mom and sister, they say that it's life and that they're struggling too. But it's not my life. I was completely fine until this happened, and it wasn't my mistake that caused this. I love my niece and nephew to death, so I can't imagine doing anything different. But the thing is, my sister is still talking on and off to her toxic baby daddy and making the wrong decisions, and I feel like I've thrown my life away for no reason, and I find it hard to have any respect for her now. I ruined my life and my credit and haven't seen my husband in over a year, trying to help her with her mistakes, but when I advise her to leave her baby daddy alone, I'm told that it's not my business and it's her life and her choice, and I'm just so angry and heartbroken and lost. Thanks for listening. Comment. Help your mom find a smaller place and head home to your husband. Your mother is responsible for your sister's kids until your sister can get herself together. You've done and sacrificed enough to help your sister who refuses to stop making bad choices. If you stick around, you'll further lose yourself and will likely be rewarded with additional babies popped out by sis. But you have a husband. Shouldn't he be making money working in his home country and be able to get you out of this situation? If he can't even do that, then why do you even have a husband? You need to stop blowing your life up for other people. I get that all of this is the only way that your family works, but it's killing you, and it's killing your marriage. And you're getting nothing back other than pain, debt, hardship, and failure. You need to work out how to get back to your life. Because this version you're living now has a time limit, and it's expired. You cannot help anyone if your life just implodes. You cannot be a support for anyone if you are unable to even support yourself. Now is the time to start to take care of your own life, and let the cards fall where they may for everyone else. I get that you love your sister's kids, but you cannot do this for any longer and keep your life in any sort of order. Stop burning yourself to keep other people warm. God, I'm so sorry that this is happening to you. I might not have advice or anything to really help you, but just know that it's gonna be okay. Classic, I know, but hope is so important. Story 2. My boyfriend cried because he thought I left him. He came home late from an office party, already drunk, and had brought home drinks for me. I had a rough day at work and did not feel like drinking. So, after spending some time with him, I went to bed ahead. We keep alcohol at home, some gin, whiskey, the basics that we don't normally consume. I woke up to him still drinking, but we've been together long enough that I was confident that he knew when to stop. Apparently, that was not the case this night. First, he went to bed giggly drunk and kept murmuring that he loves me and wouldn't stop tickling. Me. I go to work pretty early compared to him, so I sighed in exasperation, told him we'll sleep on the couch, and left him dozing alone on the bed. It was around 2 hours later when I woke up to crying. I rushed to the bedroom and found puke on the side, thankfully none on the sheets, and my boyfriend on the toilet crying because he thought I left him. Now, part of me is torn because although it broke my heart how bereft he was at the thought that I left, he was in a fetal position, sobbing on the bathroom floor. I'm equally disturbed by how off his mind drunk he was. This never happened before, and I hope to God this will never happen again. Now, I'm still awake, bothered by these chain of events, while he sleeps soundly beside me. Edit. Spaces because bad mobile formatting. Edit. I did not expect this to get attention, tbh. I was just tired, and generally distraught at the thought of his reaction. If I leave him, I won't, and have no plan to. I decided to take the day off to watch him. He puked twice. Cool. He's now roughly sober-ish, and can recall what made him cry. Turns out he had a nightmare that I left him, woke up, puked. Conveniently forgot that I said I would be sleeping on the couch because he was drunk, and his very unsober ass panicked. And that is when I found him on the bathroom, sobbing. He is swearing off alcohol for the foreseeable future. We're not big drinkers, so I believe him. He just had too much fun last night and continued the party alone at home. Thank you for the words of comfort and the various drunken anecdotes. I will share them with the boyfriend when he is less embarrassed. Comment. I have held back the hair of every woman I have seriously dated while they are vomiting due to alcohol. 99% of the time, it's because we were at a fun event, like a wedding reception or concert, etc. The endorphins were running high just from dancing and having fun. Then, we get home. Once that excitement wears off, they're drunk, all of a sudden don't feel so well. It just happens. I do agree with you. Ties into the concept of a time and a place. And some life circumstances, like a death in the family or whatever, may make someone go over the top with consumption from time to time. Alcohol is a numbing and euphoric drug. This is what can happen when you overdo it. I am so glad I met my wife after we had both decided we were done with that sort of shit. In the 13 years we've been together, neither of us has had more than 2-3 drinks in a night, tops. And we generally go weeks to months without having any alcohol at all. When I met my wife, she rarely drank. Then we had this spree of people getting married, going out to events, etc. She wasn't used to that and learned her lessons later in life than most. It happens. She is very introverted. I have a huge social circle. She really enjoys being a part of my circle of friends, because I've chosen them wisely, and they are good people. So, she had a lot of fun. My wife drunk me under the table on our first date. I wasn't a big drinker. She has seen me at my worst drinking, and I've seen her at her worst drinking. And I've held her hair back. Yeah, alcohol is numbing and a depressant. It's so it can turn from happy to bad, quick. I didn't think my wife left me, but I did get so drunk one time that I was extremely concerned that she didn't know or understand just how much I loved her, and it was my fault, so devolved into me just drunkenly insisting that she didn't understand how much I loved her until I threw up in the toilet. Something like this happening once in a blue moon isn't really that big a deal. I only drink occasionally, but sometimes once, maybe twice a year, if that I have a little too much and get sloppy drunk. It happens to the best of us. For someone with a testosterone-based hormonal system, having 5 or more drinks in a 2-hour span is considered binge drinking. SAMHSA defines heavy alcohol use as binge drinking on 5 or more days in the past month. So long as he's not getting absolutely hammered every time he drinks. And this is the first time he's gotten this drunk, I don't think he has an alcohol problem. I think it's just a rare instance of having a little too much. I wouldn't blame you if that night made you uncomfortable, though, and you should have an open conversation about it. One time, my husband got super drunk on the 4th of July a few years ago. Hell, have a couple of beers some days, but he was wild. No one else at the get-together was that drunk. Lol. He ended up yelling at the sky that those fireworks aren't shit. Anytime the neighbors had some shoot up. He also yelled at a truck driving very slowly because people and fireworks that Paul Revere didn't need no fucking gasoline. He drank an entire orange Pedialyte in the car, and then rolled off the couch, puked all over the living room floor. When we got home, he was too drunk to stay conscious and help clean up. We laugh and joke about it, but the mostly unspoken rule is that that can't ever happen again. This happened with my now husband. He downed 2 bottles of wine and was sick on the floor with a mess. He thought I was going to leave him and kept apologizing for throwing up on the carpet and for making me scrub it out. He seriously thought I was going to leave him over it. He's never done it since. And I laughed and told him I wouldn't leave him over one drunk-ass mess the following morning. I really hate this. It's not true. Alcohol turns people into bumbling fools who obsess over a small, fleeting thought. That turns into a major insecurity, all over a couple of hours. Sure, some people might yell something at their partner in a drunken argument they've been holding back. But in general, no, when you see people as far gone as what Op is describing, it's just the booze turning your brain into mush.